What is up, guys? S.E.A.L Practice here. Today I'm going to be talking about political stuff. Political stuff, that's right. So, let me start off by saying that I'm not well informed in politics by any means. I did not go to college. I have not been to college yet, obviously. I have not had any political related classes in my high school. My history classes have touched on next to nothing on politics. To this day, I'm shocked at the lack of politics involved in school, although I can't blame them considering how politics are going right now. Right now our political system is severely flawed, and anyone who does not see it, you have to have been living under a rock for the past 50 years. It is very flawed. We have two political parties. There's the Democrats and there's the Republicans. Now, if you are brave enough to go the third route and become an independent, it doesn't matter. You're not important to this country if you're an independent. You either share the beliefs of the Democrats or you share the beliefs of the Republicans. You're either on their team or you are on the other team. You're either for them or against them. That is how it is in this country. It's one or the other. There is no in between. And my phone is ringing. So, one second. Pause the video. Alright guys, I'm back. Had to answer a phone call real fast. So, back to what I was saying. I've already fucking forgot. Alright. So, I think I was talking about in between and stuff like that. So, basically, two parties, Democrats, Republicans, there's no in between. You can be an independent, but in this country it really does not matter, because your opinions will not be heard. Let's take Ron Paul for example. And I don't care how many times you've heard his name and how bad you may hate him or like him. I don't give a shit. I like Ron Paul because he tells it like it is. He tells the truth. I may not share all of his beliefs, but he's obviously the only one of the very few rare politicians who does not lie their way, cheat their way, steal their way to the top. He's not crazy, but he wants a lot for this country. Some of it may be unrealistic to achieve in his lifetime. Some of it may be unrealistic for him to achieve even if he was a two-term president. But the point is, we need people like that in office who want to achieve that for their country. We need people who want to change the country, who want to lessen the government and increase the power of the people, to say the least. We need people who want to end the pointless wars and to put more trust in other countries to do the right thing. We need someone who's going to pull us out of an economic downturn and cut the budgets without fucking our country in the ass. We need people like that in the office. And we're not getting it because these people are being, how could I say this? They're being phased out because of the political party that they are in. Ron Paul is a Republican. But almost every if you go watch a debate with Ron Paul in the GOP, maybe I can't remember what it's called. There's like different debates, caucuses and stuff like that, where they have debates, the GOP debates or something like that. If you go watch a debate, you will see the immediate bias towards Ron Paul. The questions are complicated and biased. They are meant to trample Ron Paul. They're meant to throw him off. Other candidates, they get questions like, what's your favorite color? And they'll answer with, well, I like blue because blue is the color of my country, and I intend on defending it. And then that's it. And everyone's just like, oh, clap. That's so amazing. And Ron Paul gets a question, what, sir, would you do on the 3rd of August if you were taking a shit and the country was under fire by thousands and thousands of Arabic Muslims who wanted to fly 20,000 planes into every building in the United States of America, and they told you that they were going to kill you and all of your friends, what would you do? And Ron Paul's just like, what? And it's really funny, actually. And when Ron Paul does get a chance to speak, it is for like 10 seconds. They will let the other candidates go on for fucking hours. And when Ron Paul gets questioned, he's trying to answer, and they go, ding, 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 ring that fucking bell. 10 seconds into his response, and they'll be like, okay, thank you. Next question for Mitt Romney. What is your favorite type of sex? And he'll go, doggy style, and everyone claps. And we're just sitting there like, what the fuck? Now, I'm sorry to go off and start being all retarded and idiotic, but making all these crazy examples. But I'm just being honest. That's how it is. If you do not share the same beliefs as your party, if you do not suck their dick, if you do not suck the Republican Party's dick, and you are a Republican, you will be shunned from that party. They will not care what you say, what you do, what you look like, what policies you have voted for or against. They will fuck you in the ass in the end. They will throw you into the street and let you fucking die. Literally. If you go watch Fox News, if you go watch CNN, if you go watch ABC, just turn on your television and flip through every news channel you can find. I want you to find one news channel that has anything to do with Ron Paul. You will not find a single network. Not a single one. Now, right now, it doesn't really matter because Mitt Romney has already taken the primary candidate. He's taken the, whatever you call it. He's already the primary Republican nominee. So it's Obama and Mitt Romney at this point. Ron Paul does not matter. But there are still tens and thousands of people, maybe more, who are going to vote for Ron Paul on the election. They will not vote for either. They will put Ron Paul on the ticket, even if he's not on the ticket, and he's not going to be. That shows that some people are dedicated enough to follow someone of integrity and intelligence like Ron Paul. Now, this is actually supposed to be a video on political stuff, but I start going back to Ron Paul. And it's because Ron Paul is I hate to be this dramatic, but to say the least, Ron Paul is the fucking savior of politics. He is the Jesus Christ of our modern day politics. In the darkness, he is the light. He's the only politician I've seen in a long time who does not step on everyone's feet to get where he is. He does not bullshit. He does not insult people. He does not make up lies and stuff like that. He's just for the country. He's not interested in mind games. He's not interested in flipping shit at people. He's interested in the betterment of the country. And if every politician was like that, our country would not be in the situation it is in right now. Guaranteed. The difference between America right now and America 50 years ago, or 100 years ago, is the people of the country wanted to see the country flourish and become successful and rich. They wanted to see our country become the greatest country in the world, which it did become. But now it's just all going to shit because you have rich white people, rich white men just rubbing their money all over the place saying, hey, look at all my millions of dollars. I don't give a shit about the country or anybody else. I just want to make my money. I have all these millions of dollars and I plan on keeping them, and I want my children to keep them. I don't want anybody else to have this money. I want to be the only successful person. I want to stay at the top, and I will do whatever I can to enforce that I do stay at the top. The poor get poorer, and the richer get richer. That's how it goes. That's how it is. And it will probably always remain this way. Me talking to you right now is not going to change anything. Ron Paul talking to thousands of Americans at an assembly or a rally, it's not going to change anything. Because there's always going to be people that deny it. There's always people who will want to stay at the top. There's always greedy people. There's always corrupted people. There's always greedy politicians and corrupt politicians. It's never going to change. It's existed since the Roman Empire. It's going to continue to exist far after the fall of America, if you want to put it that way. Because America is going to fall one of these days. And I'm surprised it's taking as long as it is. Because right now we are in so much shit and debt that it's hard to see through. If you put your hand out in front of your face, you cannot see your hand because there's just so much shit around it. That's just another one of my examples. So yeah, I didn't want to make a video completely about Ron Paul, but whenever I think of honest politics, that's who comes to mind. Paul Ryan, what the fuck? Don't even get me started. Mitt Romney, fuck him. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. If you research Mitt Romney and his voting record, you'll quickly vote him out. Vote him out of the election. I don't care who you are. He's flip-flopped on so much shit. I don't even know if his name is Mitt Romney. It could be Romney Mitt. Who knows? I don't know. It's very peculiar. I can't fucking say it. But anyway, those are my thoughts on politics right now. Mostly Ron Paul, obviously. I don't mean to sound like I'm a worshiper of Ron Paul, but you know, I kind of am. But I just kind of want to use him as an example of what we should be aiming towards, which is the betterment of our country, which is not happening at this point. Even Obama wants to better our country. He's not doing it, but it's not his fault, because we have 500, not 500, there's a big building of rich white men, Republicans, who are only interested in having a Republican in office. They don't give a fuck about the Democrats or the people or the economy or the country. They're interested in keeping their money. They're interested in keeping their tax cuts. They're interested in keeping their friends in the Congress. They're interested in keeping their political party in the office. They do not care about the country. They do not care about you or your family. They do not care. They want to stay in office. They want to keep it that way. They want to stay on top. They want to oppress you as long as they can until they are forced to do something drastic. And by drastic, I mean we may see another fucking, we may see something similar to the Holocaust. They may start building, well actually, we're already seeing something like the Holocaust. Except for instead of Jews, it's just people. We have millions and millions of people in prison for stupid shit. I'm talking about people who steal a Three Musketeer bar and get 5 years in jail. That's the kind of stupid shit I'm talking about. And the thing is, the prisons are not there to help the people see what they did wrong. They are there to tell the people that what they did was wrong, and then keep them there for as long as possible to get free labor. And I don't care who you are, that is the truth. If you are in prison for any reason, if you have unpaid parking tickets, like so many, I think you get sent to prison. If you have like so many misdemeanors, you go to prison. If you steal something, if you have a DUI, if you kill somebody in self-defense, even, you can still go to prison. Even if it's in your own house, I don't care. They can still send you to prison, or you can be sued if someone lives your defense. It does not matter what it is that you did, no matter how small or big the crime. If you get sent to prison, they intend to keep you there as long as possible. Because what you don't understand is that when you are in prison, you are their property. You are their bitch. They can do whatever they want with you. They can tell you what to wear. They can tell you what to believe. They can tell you what to do. They can tell you what to eat. They decide when you go to sleep and when you wake up. That is how it is. And there's nothing you can do to change it, because that's how our government works. Prisons are put here to work you to death for free labor and without having to pay. That's pretty much how it is. And to quote a very famous song, well, not to quote, but to direct you towards a very famous, maybe not famous, infamous, whatever you want to call it, to direct you towards a song that explains this perfectly. Listen to, I think it's called Deer Dance by System of a Down. The entire band is focused on the corruption of government and people, and it's a very fantastic band. Most people don't understand the messages. Granted, System of a Down, the band I'm talking about in question, they do have a lot of songs with lyrics that do not make fucking sense. There's a handful of songs that do not make any sense, and there's some lyrics that do not make sense. But on the other hand, there's a lot of their songs that are directly related to our country. Genocide, government corruption, prisons, jails, stuff like that. And a majority of the songs, besides sounding nice, they have a message behind them. Go listen to Deer Dance by System of a Down. It is about the enslavement of Americans into prison systems to keep them there and force them to give free labor for minor crimes, any crime at all. That's how it is. At some point in the song they say that we have more people in our prisons as a country than any other country combined. That means that if you take every country in the world and you take every person in every jail cell in every country in the world and you put them in one cell, and then you take every person from America that's in a jail cell and put them side by side, you will have almost a unprecedented amount of people in our prison systems compared to other countries. Combined. That's the entire world compared to ours. We have more people in our prisons than the entire world has combined. That just shows you the intentions of the prisons now. And I'll say this. I'll go ahead and finish off this video. I'm hitting like 17 minutes. Prisons in our country are not developed with the person in mind. They are not created to help the person. They're not created to better the person. They're not created to better the country. If you are in jail, they want you there for labor. That's it. They will make you work. They will make you do shit for free. They will... Now, granted, being in prison is not a bad thing. They pay for your health care. You get free health care in prison. You get free food. You get 3 meals a day. But at the cost of being stabbed in the neck by some gang member with a fork. That's the kind of stuff that you're dealing with on a daily basis. And you're also at the feet of prison guards. They can do whatever the fuck they want. They can beat you. They can toss you into a cell and keep you there for however long they want. They can starve you if they wanted to. They can hit you with a baton. It does not matter. Now back to what I was saying, back to the point. Prisons are not intended to help you in any way, shape, or form. Granted, there are some prisons in the United States that have programs that will help people, that are actually formed by the prison inmates themselves. But if you take a look at any prison system, there is no intention of helping the people get out of prison. There is no intention of helping them become a better person. There is no intention of helping them see where they went wrong. There is no intention of getting them out into the real world to become part of society again. And what I mean by that is, if you go look up a news article, I cannot remember the name of it, but there is a prison, you could call it a correction facility, whatever, in, I think it's maybe England or Britain, but it is a prison that, it's not like prison, it's actually it's like a housing of inmates, but they get like they can go swimming, they can play golf, they can do whatever the hell they want. And why are they allowed to do this? Because the inmates are given freedom to do so. They are kept there for rehabilitation. They go to this prison to seek rehab and to better themselves. They have programs. The only reason they go to that prison is for the intention of getting out, pretty much. So if you went to this specific prison in England or Britain, when you got there, you'd see so much of a difference than in our country. In our country, you go into a steel cage where you're kept there for 8 hours out of the day. And this is repeated for years until your sentence is served. In other countries, they have rehabilitation centers for inmates where they may have a hotel room, almost. They may have a room that looks like a hotel room for the prison inmates. And they don't keep you locked up behind bars. They give the inmates freedom, and they actually try to rehabilitate their people. They will put them through programs, interventions. They will put them through moral studies that will tell them what they did was wrong. They will show them how to correct it. They will tell them. They will distinguish right from wrong. They will. Sorry, I had to burp. They will try to better them as a person so that they can become part of society again. And that's something you do not see in America. Now, I could go off and talk about the police force in America, which is so fucking corrupt, it's unbelievable. But I can't really say too much about it because there are some very fantastic police officers in this country. And I give them props to the very few police officers that still exist today that are not, that don't want to like beat you upside the head with a metal baton, but want to help you out and lead you towards some places to get you help. Maybe you have a drug problem. Maybe you are addicted to crack or cocaine or heroin or LSD. There are some police officers who will direct you towards programs to help you get help, to help you beat the problem. There are some police officers who will, to say the least, find you smoking crack on the corner, beat you upside the head, take the crack and just shove it in your face, take you to jail and just be done with it. That's what we're dealing with. That's the kind of police force we're dealing with right now in this country. If you go look at the Occupy Wall Street protests, there's police officers stunning people. There's police officers shooting tear gas. I believe there was actually a baby who died of a tear gas bombs or something like that. Tear gas grenades, whatever you want to call it. A baby got hit by a tear gas grenade and died. Or it was either a person or a baby, one of the two. They died because of a police officer's negligence. These people are not armed with pistols and shotguns and high-powered rifles. These are people with picket signs showing their disagreement with Americans' policies, with the Wall Street people, with the way the country is going. These are people with picket signs in the streets standing up for a cause. And they're being attacked, they're being assaulted, they are being shunned, they are being exiled because of this. And it is wrong because in this country we are given the right to protest. We are given the right to peacefully protest. Now, when people start rioting and they start burning buildings and they start setting cars on fire and they start killing people, that's when you step in and you start having the SWAT teams with the tear gas and the stun guns and the tasers, whatever. This is not the case. We are doing this for regular people who pose no threat to us. And it's very sad because we are supposed to be a country of freedom, and we are a police state. That is what we are. We are considered a police state. I don't care who you are, that is the truth. To quote this even more, to go back to delve even deeper in this, and I'm sorry to make such a long video. I'm sure most of you probably tuned out by this point. If not, then I'm surprised you're still with me. There was a man by the name of Jesse Ventura, and I'm sure you've heard of him. He's very famous, very infamous figure. He was a former governor of, I cannot remember what state, but he was a former governor of some state. I'm not sure which. He was formerly in the Navy. It's debatable whether he was in a Navy SEAL or just a frogman. He was a underwater demolitionist, I believe. And I have great respect for our military, for the people who serve, but that doesn't necessarily mean I support the war that we are in. I suggest bringing the troops home to defend our country, but that's a different story. I don't want to keep going off. Jesse Ventura had a show on True TV called Conspiracy Theory. And basically what they did is they went around and they investigated all of these conspiracy theories, all these things that are happening in the country. And one of the videos, one of the episodes that aired was banned shortly after for, I have no idea why. It was banned. You can no longer find this episode on television. If you want to see this episode, you have to look it up on YouTube or something, but it has been banned from cable networks. Why? Because it tells the truth. Now, I do have a cold, so I apologize. Look up the video. It is called Jesse Ventura Police State. You'll find it very fast. Find the full episode and watch it. You'll be your eyes will be opened to what's going on in this country. Now, I don't agree with all of Jesse Ventura's opinions or beliefs. I do agree with a few of them, such as 9/11. I do agree with him on 9/11. I believe there was a lot of shrouding and how can I put this? I believe there was a lot of mist surrounding 9/11. Not the entire story was told. Not to say the government was behind it. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying there could have been more done, to say the least. Back to Jesse Ventura. Episode, Police State, Conspiracy Theory. Look it up. He has been on countless news stations. He has wrote many books. Former governor, ex-Navy. I don't know what branch he was actually in. There's a lot of debate on that. But it's very informing. Now, the last thing I'll cover on is conspiracy theories, because I do want to talk about this real fast. Now, a lot of people do not like conspiracy theorists. I'm one of them. I do not like conspiracy theorists. They're fucking crazy. But I do find them interesting, to say the least. And not all conspiracy theories are just batshit crazy. There are some conspiracy theories that are very well true. There are conspiracy theories that may seem so outlandish that it's just not believable to the point where it's crazy, but they are true. There's some fucked up shit in this world, and some of it is true. This ties in with Jesse Ventura, which is what I'm trying to finish talking about. Alex Jones is, I think that's his name, yeah. InfoWars. Very infamous person. He is a very big conspiracy theorist. He thinks the government was behind 9/11. He thinks that there are thousands of FEMA camps set up in the United States to imprison Americans for the revolution or something. He believes we are being poisoned. There are toxins in our food, which is somewhat correct. He believes there are aliens. The government is putting probes in our heads and trying to control us with mind control techniques. And for the most part, Alex Jones is fucking crazy. Alright, pretty much. I would not take anything he has to say seriously. It's more for entertainment, not political information. Alex Jones is not the person to go for when coming to topics like this. Now, before I end the video, let me just say, even though Alex Jones is fucking crazy, he does have some very intriguing questions about our country. when you think about it, it's very interesting to think about the concept that at this very moment, the government could be, and actually this has been proven before. Do not get me wrong. It is interesting to think that the government would try to probe us and put chips into our head to control us, to make us think a certain way, to make us do certain things. They have done this before, people. It is not as crazy as you may think. They have done this to people before. They have tried to control people's mind before. This is not new stuff. This stuff has really happened. Some of it, and most of it for the most part, is bullshit coming from Alex Jones. Some of it is true. And that's the scary part. When you get more information from a batshit crazy guy like Alex Jones than you do the actual media, that's when there's a problem. And that ties into media bias, which I just don't have the time to go into because I'm already hitting 31 minutes into this video, which is very long, and I'd still be surprised if anyone is watching this video still. But that ties in with the media. Our media blatantly uninforms us. They're blatantly biased. They are more interested in creating the news than reporting it. That is another quote from Jesse Ventura, which is very, very true. And Fox News, so fucking biased. Worst place to go for if you want some actual journalism. Fox News is the absolute worst. Bill O'Reilly, what the fuck? He is to say the least, he's a pinhead on unprecedented levels. He's a pinhead. Sean Hannity, so fucking stupid. He believes that the country was better off after Bush than before Bush. That's how stupid Sean Hannity is. I don't need to say more about that. Glenn Beck, he got fired from Fox News. That's how crazy Glenn Beck was. He got fired from Fox News. That's saying something. If you get fired from Fox News, you're crazy. Because that's just how that is. So, media bias, the government, the political systems, all of this stuff, police state, the police force, prison systems, all of this stuff. And I can keep going on. I could go for another 5 hours talking about our country and how flawed it is, how all this stuff, the education system, how bullshit it is, how fucking stupid college is because you have to go into debt for your entire life just to go to college and get an education. When in other countries you can go to college for free. You can go to college for free in Germany, Sweden, Australia. You can go to college, not pay a dime. Try that in America, you'll get laughed out of the college. What? Go to college for free? That's crazy. You're going to have to rack up $100,000 debt in student loans and have to pay them off for the rest of your life, and you end up having your kids go into debt. That's how our country runs. Our country is run on debt right now, and has been for a very extended period of time. Our country has been going down into the shitter for the past 5 decades. I'm pretty sure a decade is 10 years. 50 years we've been going down this path. No one has said a fucking thing about any of it. The very few that do bring all of this stuff up, they're not taken seriously. They're either not taken seriously, or they don't appeal enough to the mass that it makes a difference. Let's go to, and I'm sorry for making this so long, I apologize. Let's go to Comedy Central. Jon Stewart, Stephen Colbert. They are comedians. They are not journalists. They are commentators. They are comedians. They will give you more unbiased news than any other place that you will be able to find. They report the news without making it, I don't know how to explain it. They report the news without all of the extra bullshit. They'll report a news story. They'll show you how fucking stupid the media is for saying this or that, and then they'll add in a funny joke, and then it's done. That's your news. You now are better informed. You're better informed from watching Comedy Central than you are Fox News or any other place. That's how it is. And that's pretty much all I gotta say. This video is almost 36 minutes long. I have been talking about the country for 36 minutes. And I'm very tired. I have a cold. I'm not feeling well. I just decided to pick 12 o'clock at night to talk about the country and the government, stuff like that. I'm very interested in politics. I do not like politics. I don't like the way it's going. I do not like politicians, but I'm interested in the concept of politics. I would like to see politics get reformed. I would like to see politics take a turn for the better. I would like to see new political parties. I would like to see new ideas be brought into the country. I would like to see people get interested in politics. I would like to see people getting involved with their country. I would like to see people start taking an interest in their country and start wanting to better themselves and their country and the people around them. That's all I ask. That's all I can hope to want from my lifetime. Will it happen? Probably not. In any of your lifetimes, it will not happen. Because there's always going to be people who are not willing to take that leap of faith and try to set aside their hatred for each other, or set aside their hatred for their enemies, set aside their hatred for their political parties, set aside their hatred for humans in general, or religion, or race, or ethnicity, whatever you are. There's always going to exist a group of people who will live to put those groups down. There's always going to be people who exist with the sole intent of keeping you down, to keeping the country down, to keeping the religion down, to keeping the people down. And there's nothing you can do about it. Because if you become one of them and try to stop them by killing them or mass killing them like a genocide or something, you become part of the problem rather than the solution. So if you are curious as to my thoughts on if the country is ever going to get better, it will get better, but I don't foresee anything like world peace in my future. I don't see it in the future of Earth. I do not believe that it's possible. Because like I said, there's always going to be people who exist to be the problem. There's always going to be people who are only here to put others into misery or to hate others. That's how we are, and the human nature is a very complex thing. It's very hard to understand. We've existed for many decades and centuries. We're all human, and it's just how it is. It's how things are. It's how we were created. I'm not going to go into my religion or anything like that. That's another video. But that's how we exist. That's who we are, and I can't blame anybody for it. I can't point fingers and say that this person is the reason that we can't come to a agreement. I can't say that this person is the reason that the country is failing or that the economy is failing. I can't say that this person is the reason that 20 million Jews got killed. I can't blame Hitler for killing. Let me rephrase that. I can't blame Hitler for having a hatred of Jews so much that he would kill, I think it was like 15 million people. 15 to 20 million people. He killed 2/3 of the Jewish population in Europe. Why? Because that's how far, that's how deep, that's how intense his hatred was for the Jewish religion. That's how far he went to try and kill off all of the Jewish people. That is how far he went to commit the genocide of 9 million Jews in Europe. That is the extent of human hatred. That is how far humans will go to make sure that we don't prosper and to make sure that others do not go above yourself. And I think the only point in time in which we will recover and we will learn to put each other above each other, as in lifting people above yourself, is when you learn to put others before yourself. When you learn to love someone else and put them before you, that's when we will see improvement. When your neighbor is out in the yard and his leg is broke for whatever reason, and you have to go to work, it's either be late for work and take a pay cut for a day off of work, or, well, okay, you get the point though. It's either you're late for work and risk getting bitched out by your boss, or you help your neighbor who is suffering in his yard when you decide to take your neighbor and drive him to the hospital instead of leaving him there for the worms to eat and going to your job to risk your ass. That's where I draw the line. That's where I say that we are starting to prosper as a country. It's the very small things. You would think that small things like driving your neighbor to the hospital instead of going to work, instead of I'm going off the limb here, but you do get my point. That's my question to you. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. If you put your neighbor above yourself, that's when our country starts to prosper. That's my personal opinion. Let me see if I have anything else. I'm already at 42 minutes. Might as well keep going. I'm sure most of you have tuned out by now. I'm sure there's like nobody watching this, so from this point on, it's just ranting. But, yeah. That's pretty much how I feel about the country and politics and stuff like that. I don't see a lot of effort on other people's part, to try to better people, if that makes any sense. It seems like in this time of day, in modern day time, we are more interested in our how can I say this, physical objects, in our money and our greed, than we are in the human race, which is sad. It is very sad. There are very few people who still exist to try to better our population, to better our society, to better our race. It's the truth. I don't like to say it, I don't like to hear it, but it's how things are, and I've said it many times. I sound like a broken record, but it's how things are. It's how things will always be, probably, for the most part. And a magical man coming out from the clouds and waving his wand is not going to change it. Religion is never going to solve all of your problems. It's never going to solve the problems of the world. Religion does not feed millions of hungry people in Africa. It does not build houses for millions of people in the streets of America. That's just how things are. So that's it, guys. 44 minutes long that's how long I've been speaking to you guys. Like I said, most of you probably tuned out by now. That's fine. I've just been rambling and stuff. I don't expect any positive comments on this video, to say the least. That's fine. You're entitled to your opinion. I would suggest, if you do leave a comment, that you at least watch this entire video, which is going to be painful. Before you leave criticism, watch the entire video. Try to understand the message that I'm trying to give out. Try to understand me a bit better. If you have any questions about me, or you have any questions about the video, leave them in the comments. I'll be happy to answer them. I'll try to answer them as respectfully as possible, without bashing you or anybody else, but I ask that you show me the same respect that I show you when I reply to your comments. You can message me. That's also fine. If you want to have a personal conversation, just message me. That's fine. I do get on YouTube on a daily basis. I'm more than happy to talk to anybody who wants to. Any questions, any debates, any concerns, anything. I don't care. Just leave them here. Talk to me. I don't care. With all of that being said, 45 minutes long. That's it, guys. I've got a cold. I'm going to go take some medicine, give me something to eat. I'm going to go play some Skyrim. Fucking love Skyrim. I've been playing it non-stop for a long time. I have school in the morning. Got to get up at 7 o'clock in the morning. I've got 6 hours left to sleep. I'm probably not going to. That's fine. Grab me something to eat, something to drink, and I'm probably going to surf YouTube for a while. Maybe find some good political videos to watch. That's how my night's going to go. And I don't mean to give you my life story on what I'm going to do for the day, but in case you are still here, then more than likely you are somewhat interested in what I have to say. So I would hope that I'm not boring you too much at this point. That's it. This is the end of the video. Subscribe for more videos like this. Dislike me if you don't like the video. Like it if you do. You're entitled to your opinion. It's a free country. Say what you want. Do what you want. It's fine. So, with that being said, have a great night, guys. I hope that you all understand the video I'm trying to get across. And that's it. I'll see you guys later. Have a good one.